What's up, everybody out there? It's your girl Bianca with Toccoa Gospel Music News. I know it's been a while, but we are back, and we're back with an interview with Troy Sneed. So pay attention and listen to what he has to say about new projects coming from his label, Imitro Gospel. God bless you, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah, well, I'm working on my new record. You get done one, you move on to the next, just starting early.
All right. So when should we be expecting that?
The single, which is going to be called So Amazing, is going to be coming out probably mid to the end of the summer, and then the record probably is come out the top of next year.
Wow.
I would try to get a head start.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, might have a scoop here, huh? Troy Sneed's working on something new. That's great. All right, so can you do me a favor? For some of the people that might not know about you, can you tell us a little bit about your journey from when you started and up until now?
Yeah, well, most people, early on, when I was back at Florida A&M University, I actually went to FAMU on a football scholarship, and I got injured my freshman year, had 3 knee surgeries on the same knee, and after that, that's when I got mad with God, so to speak, and kind of got into a little depression thing, and was on crutches for like 18 months. And during that time, God sat me down, and that's when I realized that I had. He made me realize there was other giftings that He had given me, which was music. Mm-hmm. And long story short, somebody invited me to go to Florida A&M's gospel choir rehearsal one night, and I went, and listening to that music just really kind of changed my life. And I was appointed as the minister of music of the choir the next semester, and that's really what got my feet wet. I started traveling and working with some of the biggest names in gospel music at that time, and from there got with the Georgia Mass Choir as the assistant minister of music, went in as a musician, and started writing songs and directing songs and producing and taking out the trash for them, whatever they needed me to do.
Okay.
For 12 years, I stayed in that lane, and then God began to bring me to the forefront as a solo artist. I did a couple records on Savoy Malaco Records, and learned a lot about the industry side. And then I said, you know what, it's time for me to step out here and dive head first and start the label, Imitro Gospel, which is my wife and I, Emily, and my name. We used the first 2 letters of her name and the first 2 letters of my name and called it Imitro. We didn't know what we were doing, but God knew. And we stepped out, and I got a few more Wounded Duck artists like myself, Alvin Dollar Celebration, and Youth of Christ, which is a choir, had started back then.
Right.
And then I brought in Bruce Parham, and then the roster grew to Wilmington Chester and Bishop Rudolph McKissick. And we started having hits early on. The favor of God was happening because radio was playing all of our stuff, like The Struggle Is Over and All Night from Alvin Dollar and the Wilmington Chesters. He's in control of my life, and so forth, so on. It was amazing how out the gate God gave us favor. And so people knew me as a producer. Some knew me as a record company executive. And then I had a couple of string of hits with Hallelujah and Work It Out. And then I had My Heart Says Yes and Lay It Down and All Is Well. And now I know you hear me. God just kind of gave it. It's nothing that I've done, man. It's just the favor of God. So people know me from different things. It just depends on who you ask. Troy Sneed, who you mean, the producer? Oh, yeah, no. Don't talk to the artist. Oh, he's an artist too? Oh, no. I'm talking to one at the record company. What? Who? What? When? So it just depends on who you ask.
All right, let me ask you something about your FAMU days, and we're going to get into some recent stuff. But were you there when they did the recording live with Frankie Clark?
I had just graduated, but I did go back to be a part of that. I had graduated already.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that choir was I sang in the gospel choir too, but it was at Georgia Southern University.
Okay.
And that was one of our staples. I was choir president, choir director. That was one of our staples, and that was like my last year, I think. My last year down there, we actually did a lot of stuff off of that CD. So I was like, Florida A&M, wait a minute. He's from my era, so that's good.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with Georgia Mass, did you work with Kenneth Payton?
Oh, yeah, that's my dude. That is my, one of my closest friends, Elder Kenneth Payton.
Okay, because one of his, his nephew he was a musician at Georgia Southern, so I got fired.
Wow.
I was like, wait a minute, this is great. So I didn't realize that you worked with Georgia Mass Choir, so that's good. All right, so you're a songwriter, music executive, singer. My question is, what else do you have up your sleeve? I know you said you you play football. So what else do you have up your sleeve? What else do you have that you might be getting ready to do?
You know, really, like I say, I'm kind of boring. Other than that, I mean, I work all the time. My wife always says, "You need to get a life. You need to do some things. You need to have fun. work." You know, and so I'm just really just a dude that sometimes I won't say overly focused, but I'm just really just kind of always brainstorming, always trying to take it to another dimension, and sometimes it causes me just to miss out on a lot of things. I was telling my wife the other night, I mean, I don't even really have any hobbies, One thing I do like to do is I like to go to the movies in the middle of the day when nobody is there, and sit and I don't even have to know what the movie is. It's just something about taking a break and going to sit in the theater. Now, I go to sleep most of the time, but just to go in there would be good, But, music is my life, and that's what I do. And I did play sports, but that's over. And so my kids, I live it through them now. My son's on football team, high school football, and also I love football, and that's kind of what I, do. But I really enjoy more than that as far as music is concerned. I love the other side of it, just dealing with, the marketing, promoting, just how distribution works and all. A lot of times us as gospel musicians, singers, and whatnot, we don't really have a handle on the business side of it. We know the anointing and we know B flat and how to write songs, but we don't have a clue as to how the machine really works. And many times we're not able to maximize the potential of our brand,
Right.
So I really enjoy researching and really finding ways to continue to grow this music and get it in bigger audiences,
Okay. All right, so how do you say it? Is it intro? Intro gospel?
Intro gospel, yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was saying it right. So intro. Okay, so you mentioned a couple of people that you had on the label. So who's on the label now? And what are some of the things that you're doing to build that label as well as your own personal career?
Okay, say that again. I missed the question.
I said, who are some of the people that are on the label with you now? And what are some of the things that they're doing as well as what you're doing to help build the label?
Well, persons like Alvin Darling, who I just told you, he had a record that came out, a couple of weeks ago. Also, Youth for Christ, which is a group I started back in the late 90s. And they, every year I do that record in a different state, and I use the youth of that particular area and bring in leaders and pastors and whatever and speak into those young people, and then we record at the end of the conference. It's really like a conference that we do, and the record is just a drawing tool. And we move the age limit up from 18 to 25 because we make most of our mistakes in life between the age of 18 to 25 that we pay for many times in our 30s, 40s, sometimes even 50s. We still try to get stuff straight that we messed up back then because it's a hard transition from boy to girl, from boy to man and girl to woman, you know what I mean? And so a lot of times we miss that. So we really spend a lot of focus on that age group. And then on top of that, the Arkansas Gospel Mass Choir, getting ready to record them. That's basically Walmart's choir. Everybody in that choir is all Walmart corporate, not the ones that wear the little blue coats in the store and the greeters. I'm talking about the corporation that's in Bentonville, Arkansas, with a campus. And,
I think I know somebody. I'm not sure if he's the head of the choir or not. His name is Charles Moore, I want to say.
Charles Moore, yes, he is.
Yeah,
we know some of the same
one of my best friends. I know he's one of my best friends. He's my best friend's uncle. And we just sang together down in Broxton, where they're from. So, yeah, this is really, we do know a lot of the same people. This is strange.
Yeah, wow, small world. Yeah, exactly. So we recorded them on June 21st. And, Mother Carter, who's down there out of Douglas, she sings on every album that we do because she's like the poster child for the choir.
Okay.
And that whole, from Douglas, Willacoochee, and all them crazy names. Can't even Wasissa and all that stuff, And, so really excited about that. Really excited.
Okay.
And You know, so we got a lot of things going. You know, like I told you, we keep it moving. You know, it's an independent label, major independent. The name of this game is to stay in the game, and you can't sit back and you can't celebrate victories, and you can't get down by, you know, defeats. You just keep it moving and let God deal with all of that. You know what I mean? So don't get too high with it, and don't let it get you too low. You know what I mean? Just keep it moving.
Okay, I got you. All right, so I read, or I got a press release about your All Is Well tour. Is that over? Or
no, it's actually still, we're right in the middle of it. You know, we've been fortunate enough to really kind of go in some places that a lot of, you know, your major artists won't particularly go. You know, I love the secondary markets and those. And I would tell you, you really get more love and support. And if any artists listening to this, don't sleep on these secondary markets. Everybody want to go to New York and, you know, Atlanta and all of these mega churches, but everybody go there. You better go some places where nobody really trying to go, because some people be like, come on, bring it, yes, you know, and it's just a different kind of vibe, man. So we've been just really, you know, blue collar working, you know, and just you know, going around this country. We just left Phoenix, Dallas. We did St. Mary's, Georgia. We did Pensacola, Florida, Mobile, Alabama. You know, and you know, it's been just phenomenal. Matter of fact, we're gonna be in Fitzgerald. I'm sure you know that area and all that.
Oh yes, I do.
Coming up
I do.
In a couple of weeks in Kansas City, and you know, so you know, we go anywhere, but it's still going on, and you know, they can follow me on Twitter at Troy Sneed, or go to my Facebook, or go to my website, Troy Sneed, that's SNEED.net.com, and, you know, you can kind of, you know, keep up my tour dates there. Love to hear from you. We definitely, you know, the tour is going well.
Cool. Now, are you coming back to Shout Fest this year in Aiken, South Carolina?
Oh, you was there?
I think I left before you actually got up, but I heard about it.
So when I got up, you left?
No, I had to go. Like long before that. I missed a whole lot.
You left. Well, y'all, this is live on the air right here. You guys heard it, witnesses. She left when she found out that. I'm just joking.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I had to leave. I didn't hear Jacqueline Carr, and everybody was like, "Oh, you should have heard."
Yeah, but it was a lot of people, man, on that show. You're right. I mean, it went all day, and it was 195 degrees that day outside.
That's our area.
Yeah, it was hot. So yeah, you were right. But they had a great time. But you know, I don't know if I'm doing that this year or not. My wife does all my booking, and I usually know where I'm going to. Like this week, I know I'm gonna be. I'll worry about next week when it comes.
Okay. You are awesome. All right. So, who are your musical influences? Who? I mean, you know, not that you pat yourself after somebody, but
I listen
who do you
to
like?
Much music. You know, a lot of the music that I listen to, particularly growing up, you know, I listened to a lot of Luther Vandross, the OJs, the Earth, Wind and Fire. I did listen to some gospel people too. You know, Andre Crouch and of course the Clark sisters and the Tommies, you know, Milton Brunson and all, you know. So I also listen to country music, Shania Twain, Toby Keith, and something else. I just have appreciation for music, period, because music was my minor at Florida A&M. So I got a chance to really, you know, be exposed to a lot of music and all. So you'll hear a lot of influences in my songs, you know, from just, you know, different artists that I respect, and you know, and really just think, because I think a lot of times with gospel music, man, we are so in the box in a lot of ways where all of our music starts to sound alike. And I think that, you know, we got to stretch it out so that we can continue to keep a freshness. Because what happens is there's a certain type of song that seemingly does well at radio, so everybody tries to do that kind of song, you know. And I tell you, one of the things that's happening to radio right now is because of the tearjerker slow songs and the whatever, everybody trying to do them kind of, and so all the songs are so slow.
You know, I noticed that. I was getting a bunch of, because I want to get a bunch of new music or whatever.
Yeah,
everything is slow. What is going on?
Everybody trying to do that, you know. So we need some tempo, right? Exactly. So that's one of the things I tell new artists. Hey, if you want to get in, they don't care if you got an upbeat song, everybody else slow, you know, they may, hey, let's give it a shot. If they start working, I mean, prime example, Anthony Brown and Group Therapy. He came out with an upbeat tempo song where everybody else was slow. He's a new artist. Nobody knew him before, whatever. Other than when he wrote the song for Morat. But look, it's one of the biggest songs this year, so that's one of the things that we have to, be conscious of, because radio right now, man, it'd be so slow that it'll put you into a depression,
That's sad. I've said the same thing. I said I have to be careful with certain stuff, because if you listen to it back-to-back, I'm like, just slip my wrist now. Good Lord, can God bring me out? I mean, please get somebody to think about something happy. But, yeah, I do agree.
Yeah,
cool.
So that's kind of, always trying to stay up on and change the game, so to speak. And so there's some other lanes that we all need to kind of get in. There's plenty of space over there, so we trying to do something different.
Okay, so what's your new project that you're working on? And I know you probably haven't revealed this to anyone. You said maybe next year sometime or whatnot. But do you write normally all of your own songs and do all the production, or who do you have working with you?
Well, I write most of my stuff. What happens with me? I can't just sit down and write a song. I got to go through a situation. Somebody got to get me upset. I got to get mad with the dog or something. Something got to happen for me to really get inspired. And so I was on an airplane, and this song came to me. And when I landed, I had to go right to the studio and put it down. So I have to put songs down when they come to me. And then when I get 10 tracks, then I 10 to 12, 14 tracks, then I release it. So I'm in the studio because it's weird when God gives me songs. So I always try to keep my records way in advance. Like I'll get it done and just sit on it until it's time to release it, because All Is Well is still doing so well that I wouldn't dare release it now, because that record is still, still getting a lot of support. So I just like to keep one in the can so I can just keep them going,
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so on a typical day, I know you said you always do music. You like to go to the movies when nobody's there. So anything, just one little-known fact about you. One little-known fact.
A little-known fact about me is that I'm very, 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 very stage fright and getting in front of people. I don't like crowds. Every time I go on stage, I'm petrified, I'm pretty much like a loner. I like just, I don't like to meet new people. I don't want to be, won't you meet? So, no, when I travel, my wife travels with me. I have to psych myself out. Just,
really?
I'm stage fright. I'm just petrified of people, man. It's just always been there. I don't care how many times I go on stage, how many people, how few, whatever. I'm just, that's just something that I'm trying to overcome, but it's just hard.
Wow.
And then the other thing about me, the humorous thing is, I'm just addicted to Disney cartoon movies like The Lion King, Cinderella, Hercules, Mulan, anything Disney do, cartoon musicals. I can't get over them. I can go right now and sit down and watch The Lion King by myself, and I've seen it 1,055 times.
Wow.
So there you go.
Okay, cool. So what do you want the world to know about your ministry and about what it is that you're trying to do through your label, and et cetera?
Well, I just want the world to know that we basically trust God. We're faith walkers, and I want to be a role model for a lot of young entrepreneurs to say, hey, you don't have to go do, any other genre. If you gospel, you don't have to move to L.A., you don't have to move to New York, Atlanta, wherever you are, God can bless you where you are. And just hold on to your dreams, and just know when you buy a Intro Gospel product that you're buying, you're sowing into a ministry that is definitely standing rooted in solid soil and solid ground, and that it's family owned and operated. And through the prayers and support, we've been able to have a presence. So I'm really grateful for that.
Okay, where are you out of?
I'm out of Fleming Island, Florida, up near Jacksonville.
Okay. Okay, because you just brought up, being home and letting God bless you where you are. That's a really good point. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good. That's good advice, young people. Make sure you listen. Okay, so on the social networks, you gave us your website, which is troysneed.net. You're on Facebook, yes?
Facebook, Troy Sneed, Mr. Intro, EMTRO. At Twitter is at Troy Sneed. Y'all follow me because I got to be honest with you all. I'm just really, because of my person, I told you I'm just a loner. You know, I be laughing at people how they tweet and Facebook. You know, I'm on the way to the store. Here's a picture to take a picture of the face right close up. I saw a cat in the road, and I mean every little. I'm like, I ain't that kind of dude. I can't, I just don't tweet and post just to be, something gotta happen. I gotta say something. But man, I be dying laughing at some of this stuff, man. It'd be just so funny. How you like this hair dude? They take a close up of it. And, driving in, it look like most of them be driving in the car, taking a picture right there, I'm like, wow. And then some of those deep messages, inspirational things, you go there, everybody got a good word, to get that like. So I'm trying to get there, people. Y'all follow me. I do tweet, though, but my tweets be just like, what's up, family? What's up? How y'all doing? I'm still here, whatever.
I'm looking now. I'm looking at it right now.
You know what I'm saying? So, pray for it, brother. I'm trying to get there. So y'all just, y'all keep praying with me.
Okay, so who are you listening to right now? Like if we got in your car, maybe turned on your stereo, who would we hear?
You probably hear sports radio right now because I ain't really listening to music because what happens when I'm in the riding mode and I don't listen to music because it just kind of messes me up. So you'll hear CNN, HLN News, and I was one of them. Well, you probably never even heard about this trial, but this Jodi Arias trial that's been going on. I've been addicted. I love court TV and those kinds of things. So trial, like O.J. Simpson trial, almost back when I was a school teacher years ago, almost made me lose my job because I called in every day sick because I want to see the trial. I just. Court TV and First 48 on A&E and all them courts.
Okay.
That's just where, you know what I mean? So if you was getting in my car, you'll be like, turn it from the sports. Can we turn it from the news? That's all, I don't listen to music a lot at all.
Okay. So are you in the basketball? And if so, who do you have for the finals? Who do you think you're going to?
Oh, man, come on now. Let me see. I live in...
Who are you going to say, the Heat?
You know that's right.
Lord. He's a Heat fan, people. Pray for him.
Yeah.
Pray for him.
It is a question. Y'all might as well just fast forward it. Don't even do just go to the final game and just go ahead and crown them now. I mean, they come on. We all know what's up. They just, but I guess they got to make their money. So let's play the games. Let's just let the networks make their money. But it's a wrap.
We'll see.
You mark my words on that.
We'll see. I'm an OKC fan, but
I know.
It'll be what it is.
Yeah. Now last night I fell asleep. Did they come back in the overtime? What happened? Did they lose?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch last night. I'm just waiting to see whether or not they get past Grizzlies.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah. But it's all good.
Okay, Troy, I just want to appreciate you today for talking to me about what you have going on with your music and everything else that we talked about today. I really appreciate it.
Well, let me hang out with you as well. So I appreciate that as well. So, let's stay in touch and keep me in prayer, and I will, do the same for you, and let's just keep it moving.
I will do.